Manafort had already done all this stuff at the time that I, Donald Trump, decided to hire him as my campaign manager. Which means one of two things. Either Trump did a background check, discovered his suspicious activity and didn't care, or he didn't so much as Google Manafort before hiring him, because everybody knows that Manafort is dodgy. He's represented the interests of strongmen and dictators around the world, including Ferdinand Marcos, Mobutu, Viktor Yanukovych, and Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska, the last two of whom had close ties to Putin. In fact, it's since come to light that Manafort may have been in debt to pro-Russian interests by as much as $17 million. And the more we learn about him, the shadier he gets.
Prosecutors have noted that Manafort has 3 U.S. passports with different numbers and recently traveled abroad while using a phone and email registered under an alias.
Okay, so, first of all, who outside of Jason Bourne needs 3 separate passports and an alias, besides, of course, the Olsen twin? Because she's got one for Mary Kate, one for Ashley, and one for Hillary Duff. Oh, that's right. There is also no Hillary Duff. It's just one Olsen twin, moving back and forth very quickly, and then changing her hair and face significantly and standing still in a different place. I'm close. I'm so close to blowing this whole charade apart. Now Trump has argued that Manafort was just with the campaign for a very short period of time. But he held top positions within it for 5 months, during which time he not only organised the convention, he also spoke on the campaign's behalf with decidedly mixed results.
So to be clear, Mr. Trump has no financial relationships with any Russian oligarchs?
That's what he said. That's what I said. That's obviously what our position is.
Well, there is nothing inherently suspicious about that response at all, except for the sweatiness, the stumbling, and the fact you couldn't even hold eye contact with the camera. Also, while Manafort may have been gone before the election, Gates, his partner, who prosecutors say had 55 bank accounts, he helped run the inaugural committee and has been a frequent visitor to the White House. So again, the question here is, did Trump know all of this and not care? Or did he know none of it because he's incompetent? In other words, is Trump smart enough to be evil? And before you answer that, consider the genuinely surprising news from Monday, the guilty plea from George Papadopoulos, the former Trump campaign staff and real cool dude, who has now admitted to lying to the FBI. He could be a real problem here, because we now know not only did Papadopoulos have contact with the Russians during the campaign, who apparently told him through an intermediary that they had dirt on Hillary Clinton, but he mentioned his Russian contacts to the campaign, who responded like this.
A Trump campaign supervisor told Papadopoulos, quote, "I would encourage you to pursue contact with Russians," and that he had done great work.
You know, it speaks to the sheer stupidity of the people involved here that so many of them often left written records of their potentially criminal actions. It's like if during Watergate we had an email chain of Howard Hunt saying about to break in and Nixon replying, "Nice." But, you know what? This would not be stupid Watergate without some truly idiotic details, because one of Papadopoulos' former professors described him as zealous and a bit simple, which incidentally is also how you would describe a golden retriever in ISIS. And some of his Russian sources turned out to be pretty unimpressive.
Papadopoulos was in London, meeting with his Russian connections, including a woman he thought was Vladimir Putin's niece, but turns out was not.
That's right. We are now living in an era where the top New York Times headline could conceivably have been, "Shades McCall got catfished by a fake Putin niece."